Amazing day. Hey, did you know that a good story told the wrong way is more dangerous than a bad story told the right way? I'll say it again. A good story told the wrong way is more dangerous than a bad story told the right way. What an amazing day. That rhymes, they say. Yeah, I'm in that kind of mood today. A good day to write a rap song. Maybe. Write this down. I'll be back. I got a few things that I was going to write down, but it makes my fingers hurt, so I'm going to just say it. All right, I'll be back. Got to walk. So how do you correct a good story that went bad because it was told wrong? You've got to go back to the beginning of that story and make a few things, reveal a few things, do a revelation of things that were misunderstood. So in that history book of the human race, it's called the Bible. Some people call it the Old and the New Testament. Testament is just what it says, a testimony. Written by 66 different people, and they just assembled together in something they called the book. But it's actually 66 books. But I digress. So, that book was written, the first 5 books in that book was written by a man named Moses, who grew up and was raised in ancient Egypt, when it was basically the world empire. Pharaoh was God. So the story, a good story was being told badly by a guy named Pharaoh. And the reason that was happening is because the original family that was assigned. All right, let's go back to the first book. The first book says that God created them male and female. Them. A multitude. Male and female. How about this? How about 5 couples? Four fingers and one opposable thumb. The 4 fingers are the 4 races of mankind. The opposable thumb are Adam and Eve. The ones who were supposed to basically give people the knowledge of the God that they walked with, who was actually the creator of what the 4 other couples and their families enjoyed. So the job of Adam, which means man, it was just a title of that one man who was picked out of the 5 couples. And Eve, which means mother of all living. So when they had their children, something really bad happened in that relationship. Eve was seduced by another man, and she was impregnated by someone other than her husband. So inside of her womb, she carried the first prodigy of humanity, being the mother of all living. That was supposed to be the example to the rest of humanity, how family is supposed to look. Now has 2 children in her womb, twins from 2 different fathers. And when they're born, the first murder in the human family is committed. Cain kills his brother Abel. And you reap what you sow, so now we're in a predicament. So in a world that was created with a reaping and sowing principle, we have now been committed by the representatives to show the rest of the human family how this world is supposed to work, and the way the Creator designed it, have now brought into the human family something that was never supposed to be known. Murder. Cain killed his brother Abel. And without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. In a world that was designed with a reaping and sowing principle, a human being had to die now because of the action of one human being, Cain. And the story unfolds. So Adam and Eve were not the only 2 people that were ever created. Adam and Eve are like I said, Adam means man or mankind, and Eve means mother of all living. It's a representation of all of humanity. Male and female created he them. And then the laser beam comes down on one family which is opposing, like a thumb. You have 4 fingers in one thumb, yet they're all called fingers. The thumb is holy because it's unlike the fingers. It has a special role to play. That's all. Don't make more of things than what they are. That's how a good story gets told badly. They turn it into some sort of, I don't know what sort of mishmash, Babylon, confusion stuff. And I don't know if it's to cover the pure and the pure simplicity of the story. So, in a reap and sow world, or a sow and reaping world, God, who created the world, solved the predicament. He gave as a substitute, or as a shadow, the sacrificing of animals, the shedding of their blood for the guilt of the whole human race, because the man and the mother of all living were the federal heads. The federal head. They represented the rest of mankind to God. And when they rebelled, and she committed adultery, and their first children committed the first murder, it was as if all of mankind were guilty of that. Because everything is connected. It's like plucking a spider web. It transmits throughout the whole web. So there was a predicament. So now we have a shadow, which is a way more merciful, the way God does it, where unfortunately, an innocent animal has to die. But the more important creature, which is the one created in the image of God, God is not a dog, God is not a sheep, God is not a goat. God is a man. A living man. Mankind. So God himself came and solved the sowing and the reaping problem. He became the penalty himself for the crime that Cain committed, that all of mankind was guilty of, and it was hanging over their head. Every human being, from the moment they're born into this world, is already a convicted murderer, believe it or not. And some of them act out on what their actual character and nature is. Most human beings are cold-blooded murderers. And sometimes they kill. You can murder somebody and not kill them, you know. And human beings are amazingly skillful at that. So next we'll talk about John the Baptist and Jesus Christ in the next video. Because I'm only going to make 2 of these because we're already at 11 minutes and it doesn't let me download if it goes over a lot of minutes.